And now, live and recorded digitally from the Spinning Unrest Studios, it's Live with Johnny. Here's Johnny!
I love that new intro. I love the new intro. Thank you very much, Stephen Wayne.
Stephen Wayne.
And welcome to the newly christened Spinning Unrest Studios.
Thank you.
We will talk about that next week. We'll get more information out to the people.
No time tonight.
Pretty crazy night tonight. The only local comedian, Pat Oates, will be joining us very shortly. Our sponsor tonight, you know who our sponsor is tonight? Us.
I thought it was Pat Oates.
Live with Johnny.
Oh.
That poor guy. Oh my God, that's horrible. We are our sponsor. Go to our TikTok page, Live with Johnny. Okay, we need you to We need you to subscribe. We need you to follow whatever it is.
What all the kids
and then when
are
you're done
doing.
with us, go over to the Spinning Unrest page and do it for them as well. But you got to get Live with Johnny. I want to hit 200. I want to hit some things. We want to do some things with that too. Pat Oates' view of me all night.
Dude, it is the least. I didn't plan it, but it's the least flattering view. And I don't think it's a you problem. It's just a really.
It worries me because, like, how do I say this not graphically? My wife has to see this view at some point.
No, nobody sees this except him.
No,
this isn't.
You're not listening to what I'm saying.
Oh.
From this angle, this is what my wife sees. That poor girl. She should get a Purple Heart.
That I can't help you with.
That's fine.
I can't help you with that.
Well, we're linked up to a Zoom. Pat Oates is going to join us, and I'm going to hit right with him because we only get to 40 minutes, and I want to jump right into it. So without further ado, the handsome, the smart, the funny, the intelligent, the author, Mr. Pat Oates.
Pat Oates.
Wow. You guys can't afford an hour? It's like $10.
Bro.
I tried, man. I was like, dude, pay it. Pay it.
I have a thing. I grew up in a depression. Like, I eat oysters, or not
like
oysters.
A mental
I eat sardines for lunch.
Or?
It's 80 cents a can at Ocean State Job Lot. Fuck them. I don't really have time for that. Pat, once again, I cannot thank you enough for, you said, I literally sent a message, would you be willing to come on the show within minutes? His exact quote was, awesome, sounds good. So thank you very much.
Because I'm a whore. I love talking about me. It's the best.
We should have bought the 3 hours.
It's funny you should say that. I'm a knucklehead who has a show called Live with Johnny every Thursday and talks about himself. So I named the show after myself. There's so much to get.
I have a podcast called POS, but I pretend it's called Piece of Shit. It's called the Pat Oates Show because I'm a fucking lunatic.
POS. And you know what? As I was looking at that today, I never even crossed my mind that it'd be a piece of shit. But that's fucking funny. Oh my God.
Well, the format is that we find the piece of shit in stories that we go, the news stories. So we go with the stories and then we go, who's the fucking loser? And it's usually me. And I'm not even in the story.
Well, speaking of your podcast, I'm going through. And I want you to tell us about it and where we can find it and the sense of it. But one thing I did learn from Pat Oates, the POS show, is Terrence Howard has a micro penis.
He does.
Who does?
Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard. He was from Hustle and Flow, and he was also the original War Machine from Marvel before they went to Don Cheadle.
He
has a micro penis.
What?
Yeah, you look it up.
That's both shocking and unsettling.
I aspire to be Pat Oates with my social stuff because when people Google John Donato, I want somebody's micro penis to come up with it at the same time.
Right, of course.
Unfortunately, it says my same name right afterwards. So, honey, I love you and I apologize.
I mentioned Terrence Howard's like, God damn it, Pat Oates is in my Google feed again.
Somewhere that dude hates you. He's somewhere right now being like, I know who the fuck Pat Oates is, but I'm going to kick his ass when I see him.
He hates me, and the kid from Stranger Things, Mike, hates me because I did a little clip that a lot of young kids got mad at because I talked about how he's the ugliest human in the world and how all other roles he could play.
He's not a good-looking kid.
No, and he's going to be a worse adult. He's going to just be ringing bells in towers his entire life. He's going to be solving riddles at bridges. He's an ugly fucking person.
He's going to be the kid from Jerry Maguire. It just didn't age well. Just fucking went down south.
At least that kid was cute at one point. At one point, his head was cute. This kid has always been a gargoyle the whole fucking time.
He makes a valid point.
That's a good point.
A gargoyle. That's a good way to explain that kid. He is an ugly motherfucker. Pat,
He looks like Alice the Goon from Popeye. If you remember, like the old cartoons, what they used to call retarded people, the Goon. Like, that's what they called it back then.
That is an old school reference, right?
Yes.
Pat is actually a little bit older than I am, but he looks 10 years younger than me, so he's got that going for him. Pat, tell us about your
Shave
podcast.
your head. That's all it is.
Dude, I've been telling him for 10 years.
It's going to get there soon enough. Tell us about your podcast and where they can find it.
You find on YouTube, just look up my name, the other narcissist thing. Just find me. It's fine. It's me and my buddy Bobby Tamburo. He works for Compound Media. It's the company owned by Anthony Cumia of Obie and Anthony. I got to go. My first pilot for POS was with their channel. Then COVID happened, so we weren't able to do a show there. It's like, screw it, we'll just do it ourselves. And the two of us every week. Sometimes we have guests, we don't. We find some stories in our own lives or other places and find the piece of shit in the stories. And then we just humble brag about ourselves and people we met and dumb things we did.
I love that.
It's very good.
It's a winning formula.
The word, without being kiss assy, is very professional when you listen to it. Like they're very bob, and I'll get there one of those days.
Not today.
I was gonna say it, but I didn't want to.
Would you two talk to each other this afternoon? So here's what we're gonna do.
I didn't want to burst your bubble, but probably
when
not
the fat
tonight.
kid with the goatee gets on, break his fucking balls.
Nothing better be on an interview with the guy goes, I promise later on I'll be better. I'm like, fuck.
Better than your prom date.
She died.
Well, you did
Oh.
it.
It was during. It was
The prom night dumpster baby. Remember that one?
Yeah.
You recently on your Facebook page posted your 8th grade graduation picture from your year.
Yes.
Two things about that. Number one, you look like a serial killer, like a kid who's going to grow up to be a serial killer. And two, you know when you can put like the things you like on it. He had like Giants football, comedy, and then at the very end, and I got to know why you wrote Sesame Street.
Because we were asked to put our favorite TV shows, and being an 8th grade idiot, I thought that'd be funny. And it makes me just look like a pedophile now that I'm 49.
In retrospect, not cute.
As I was thinking about it tonight, I'm like, I hope he tells me that it was like code for something, like where him and his friends hid the penthouse, like it's at Sesame Street. Go find it. But then, it is what it is. The other interesting thing I found out about you, and I need to hear the story, and I apologize if you've been asked this 100 times, but did you really pretend your mom was dead on the TLC channel?
Yeah, on the show was called Extreme Cheapskates. It was a pretty big show. I never saw it, but what they did was I used to run a comedy club in New Haven called Joker's Wild, and I used to run that place. It was on Worcester Street for a while. They contacted us to come to the show, and they wanted to have this girl who lives in Brantford come down, and she does fashion shows on the cheap and shit like that. She goes through Salvation Armies and dumpsters, but they wanted her to come and do the open mic for 5 minutes instead of doing comedy. Do a fashion show and watch like all the comics get mad, but it fell through. So they're like, we got to do something else. And they said, hey, we have an idea. And since we've already in contact with you, we rented a bed and breakfast. We're going to pretend she goes through the obituaries and finds women who died and their sons and gets their clothes. Can you be the son? And I was like, all right. So they paid me $50 and I was on TV.
That was like their go-to. All right, we're going to stop that. And we're going to go to a kid with a dead mother.
It's got 4 million views on YouTube.
Jesus. What?
And like 3,000 comments, and all the comments are either black women who feel real bad for me because they're just like, my baby, that's terrible. This N-word should have left you alone. Why is she bothering you so much? Getting real upset. And then it's the second comments of people saying this isn't true. This isn't true at all. I saw him perform on stage. He said it's a lie. He said his mom's alive. And then the third comments are my mom saying thank you. Because she's not live. Yeah, she feels nice that she can see people talk about her death.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And it's right on his Facebook page, and I'm like, yeah, we're gonna ask him about that.
The clip was only like a minute or two on the show, but we recorded for about an hour, and they just let me do whatever I wanted. And there was this one parlor. It was, if you know New Haven, it's right near the hockey rink. They rented a bed and breakfast there, like a house from the 1800s. So when we were sitting in this parlor, and it had like a mantle, and on top it had a picture on the mantle of an old woman from like the 1800s, and next to it a porcelain horse. And the lady's asking me questions, and she goes, "Is that your mother?" And I went, "No, that's a horse." And the guy dropped the camera. And he was laughing so hard. They're like, "You got to stop being funny."
You're supposed to be sad. Your mom's dead. He's
right? Yeah.
there.
And I kept asking her if she wanted me to slide down the banister like I used to do with my mom when we would sing "Risky Business." And the lady's like, "Stop doing it." So the clip they got was just the most serious they could get of me of the 30 seconds. Because I got high as shit. Why wouldn't you get high if you're going to pretend your mom is dead and you're pretending you have a house? I'm poor. I don't have a house.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Wrong pipe. God damn, Pat. That's funny shit. Just real quick, I want to bring up the PLR thing because that's where I found you. I found you on PLR on the Chaz and AJ show in the morning. And I have two things about that. One, do you love it? And two, I've watched your comedy. I've listened to your podcast. How do you go? How many times have they hit the dump button on you?
Never. I don't swear.
How do you pull it off? How do you turn it off?
What?
I don't think about it.
Because I'm not trying to say you swear a lot. Like you swear a lot. Like and
Right.
I'm like, but then in the morning, you could like when they have callers call in, and sometimes somebody says something that they think they're calling in with like the greatest, funniest thing they ever said, and then they say it, and you can hear Chaz be like, "Okay, next call," but you could hear like you want to be like, "This fucking idiot" or something like and I don't know how you don't.
No,
do it.
I'll call them idiots and I make fun of them, and they have no problem with me. The longer I've been on, the more Chaz and AJ are great. AJ is a good buddy of mine, but Chaz has been so amazing to me. Like he's put me in so many opportunities that he didn't have to do, and he's really helped me. I started falling in love with radio just being a guest on it, and he's really helped me out a lot. He doesn't really put a leash on me at all. He trusts me, and if I ever did swear, he would just dump it. A lot of the young comics that come on now are friends of mine that I've suggested, and they do swear because they're not used to it, and they dumps it. But no, I do love being on there. It's something I never thought I would do, and then a weird opportunity happened, so I just asked the question, "Can I learn radio?" So.
Well, I don't know shit about shit, but you fit in there seamlessly. Like and not just because you come on my show, but I think the show's the three of you are very good together. Very, very good.
They get that feedback a lot. AJ is the star. Like he is Chaz runs the ship. AJ is the funny guy forever. And sometimes other comics I think come on and want to like outdo Eminem. They're trying to rap battle him almost in a way where he's going to win. It's his home field no matter what. And I have fun with him. So I don't try to outdo him. We add to each other. And it's just like a natural thing. And Chaz said that too. It's just I've learned how to play double dutch with these motherfuckers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They run the rope good, but I've learned how to jump in and out.
And you could tell like you guys are like friends. Like I think you guys were like throwing baloney at him or something, and you're doing like some dumb shit or something. You guys were giggling like you were just got out of high school, smoked a joint, and now you're throwing fucking baloney at each other. It's pretty
At
fun.
the very beginning of coming on that show, in any show I would go on, my laugh, I have a stupid laugh, but I have fun. And people say to me all the time, "Wait, why are you laughing at your own jokes, you loser?" I go, "Oh, sorry, I'm having fun, serial killer. My bad."
I laugh at my own jokes all the time.
Yeah.
I have no problem
If
with
you
that.
ask me who my top 5 favorite comics are, I'm one of them. If I
you
don't
have
like
to be
me,
there.
what the fuck's the point of doing it?
Exactly.
I find me funny. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I laugh, and the listeners now all the time say they love my laugh because I think people want to hear us laughing. We imagine they're laughing in the car. That's been the one disconnect for me at the beginning. I'm so used to being on stage and getting instant gratification. Having to guess that they're laughing and know the timing and people in their cars, what they're doing, has been tough. But I try to make everyone in the room laugh. If I get Phil to crack up in the other room and Ruth to laugh and the guests to laugh, then I know people in their car are dying.
Yeah,
and when I'm laughing too, I know they're laughing. So.
Phil's cackle is pretty funny. He's got a funny.
And
little,
Phil's another one who's
Yeah.
been very helpful to me. That I've been on the show for a couple of years. I've listened forever. That's the best version of that show there is in 20 years. Ruth is incredible with the social media. You're getting new, younger guests. She's really reaching out. She's getting TikTok people. So they do need to get a younger audience, and they are doing that. They're still getting nominated for national awards.
I agree with you, and without sounding like an asshole, it has been like the last year. It's been more interesting. I mean,
she's added so fucking much, but Chaz has also allowed her to add things
Yeah.
where he could have been like, "Hey, it's been my ship 20 years. It ain't broke, don't fix it." But he's like, "No, I want to keep." Because someone said during the 20-year thing, they called in one day. They're like, "It's been 20 years. You're going to retire," and he goes, "Am I not going to be able to talk in 20 years?" He's like, "My job is talking. As long as I'm with it, well, I can do this forever."
And he seems,
you know what I mean? So
he's very chameleon-like. He seems to wrap himself in whoever's on, whatever's on. He seems to get right in there. And when he doesn't, he's pretty funny with that too. Like if he doesn't like it or if he doesn't get it, his old man thing is pretty funny too.
But he also is the most prepared person I've ever seen. Like everything is run perfectly. But then he lets everyone else just be natural and chaos. And he can also riff, but he knows someone has to steer that ship. He could be the funny guy. He's off stage too, off mic too. Very funny, engaging guy, and knows a lot of stuff, but understands he lets us shine, which is kind of cool.
That's what a good leader does. More about Pat Oates, though. Now that you brought it up, saying you are one of your favorite comedians, let's say I had to ask you, leave Pat Oates out of it for a second. Give me the other top 2 or top 3, like all time since you started to laugh. Who you got?
Mitch Hedberg, Louis C.K., Norm Macdonald.
That's a good list.
Yeah, I mean,
Louis C.K.
I would
is
put
amazing.
if you wanted 2 more, it'd be Jeselnik and Tosh. Like I love them. I love their style.
Jeselnik.
I can't stop listening to Jeselnik.
Have you heard Tasha's new podcast?
Yeah,
Yeah, really good.
I like it. It's different than everything
Yeah.
else. It's a little quirky and weird, but he's quirky and weird.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
Yeah, he's funny, man. He's a good guy.
Fucking, and just quick, Jeselnik, every time I think
Dude.
about I've been looking for my girlfriend's murderer for 2 years. Nobody will take the job. He's funny.
I mean, the delivery is
he's absolutely phenomenal.
yeah, amazing.
I was very lucky for about a year to be the house comedian at Foxwoods. So like when I was there, that was my job. I performed with the good comics coming in, and right before Jeselnik and Schumer got big, they had just broken up. They were dating for a while. They came and headlined the club 2 weekends in a row, and they both have dirty, dark jokes about an ex. And I found out from them it's really loosely based on the other one. They were just saying. So when he was saying that, he was trying to murder Schumer. When Schumer was saying stuff about wanting to strangle her gay twink boyfriend, it was Jeselnik. Like it was so funny to know that watching. It was great.
That's it.
That's amazing.
They're both fun. I'm not a big Schumer fan, but Jeselnik I can get. But Schumer 15 years ago when she was doing the dark, nasty stuff was hysterical. The PC Schumer, I kind of shied away, but much success to her, whatever makes her happy.
I get that too. And it's like, but I'm a fan of people who make it in this industry. So it's like, hey, if she had to do that, you know how many people have sold their souls and then got nothing? Whatever.
Yeah, listen, if she's listening, I'll take her on the show tomorrow. Don't get me wrong. I'm not shitting on anybody. You say Foxwoods, and I was going to ask you about that because it leads me to my next question. What's the biggest stage? What's the, if you said this is the one show that I'm most proud of, where does that land, Pat Oates?
Well, I guess there's different things. I mean, like, I'm proud of almost everything I've done because it's just kind of cool that I get to go on stage and say my dumb thoughts to people and make them laugh. I don't mean to sound like an asshole when I say this. I don't give a fuck about the people afterwards. I know a lot of people are like, I'm so happy to bring them joy. I don't give a fuck about your life. But in that moment, I like that I have a superpower where I can take like a white nerd and then make them stop being a nerd for a minute and chuckle. Like I elicit feelings through them. And I love that I took a dumb thought of mine. I went to open mics. I wrote it. I edited it. I crafted it. I kept turning around, built it into an hour, record an hour of it, put the album out, and then do that again. I've recorded like 4 hours worth of material, and I could constantly, my dumb thoughts have made people laugh. So anywhere I perform, dumb little bar, whatever, is great. But when I got to open for Jim Jeffries at the Fox Theater, 2 sold-out shows, 1,400 each, where he let me do 25 minutes at the beginning with no opening guys doing that. He's like, go. That was a feeling. I've never felt like a wave like that of laughter because it's coming to you from the backside too, which I never did a theater at that time. I've done a couple since, but nothing that big. But it was nuts to have finish your joke, and then 7 seconds later, other laughs are coming. You have to learn the pausing again. But it was, and also I love Jim Jeffries. He's also, if I went top 10, he'd be on that list because he's also been very helpful to me. But he's a brilliant guy and so nuts. That show was like a year or two after Sandy Hook, and he has all these Sandy Hook jokes. So he's like, do you think they'll get it here? I go, dude, I don't know if you realize this is where it happened in Connecticut. He goes, oh, good, I could use names. And I'm like, that's the best.
See, that's my type of sense of humor because you get it. And that's going to lead me to another question. And you work a lot. I see that you're constantly putting up shows. You're constantly doing as many things as you possibly can. Going through the last, well, I call it the Donald Trump era because as soon as he ran for president, became president. And this isn't about politics. I would never ask you to talk about that. When did people get so goddamn sensitive and go to comedy shows and all of a sudden think they can walk out because you said, penis, vagina? Dave Chappelle says something about, a trans joke. Do you remember when we grew up and you went to a comedy show and they closed the door behind you and that just meant everything's up in the air, everything's on the table, let's all laugh and then go home? Whatever. Why? Yeah. What the fuck?
It's still that way. That's all internet. I'm telling you, I'm in clubs. No one's walking out. No one's saying shit. Yeah, people that have computers that fight, they don't go out. They're nerds. They don't leave their fucking house. They're just, they want attention. They want to yell. People get scared of it. Some clubs get scared of it. But at the end of the day, who's one of the biggest comics in the world right now? Shane Gillis is killing it. They tried to cancel it, made him bigger and stronger. Gervais just won a Golden Globe over all woke people. Like nobody gives a shit. People want to laugh. If anything, and I don't get political either, Trump kind of made it so everyone wanted to hear someone talk like people again. Because a little bit they got weird. And it's like, he's talking like an idiot and he's saying dumb shit. And they're like, yeah, we want comics to do that too. So the middle of this country doesn't give a fuck. Yeah. It's the coast, more the West and the East. They're the ones that have to be virtue signaling. But at the end of the day, when I'm at Mohegan or I'm at Stress Factory or I'm at any comedy club, nobody is in there going, stop saying bad words. They're laughing the whole fucking time.
That's good to hear because you're probably right with somebody who doesn't do it, and we see the TikToks and the Facebooks about all the, the woman stands up and you can't say that, and don't call him a mother, call him a birthing person, in the middle of a comedy show, and I'm like, this is fucking crazy talk, Yeah,
it's the minority online. The people who are like, say the proper genders or dumb things like women should vote, things like that. You don't want that out there.
Do you know that they let them fucking drive now too?
They drive me everywhere. I don't drive.
He slips it under the radar. You almost don't even know what's there.
I know. I was kind of like,
that was good.
If you want, the second he said it, I got a little twinge. Like, this is my guy. He doesn't know it yet, but we just became best friends.
Timing's impeccable.
The worst. Good thing you didn't give me your cell phone number because I'd be texting you all night. So, how you doing?
We're dating, dude. This is the worst version of Brokeback Mountain you've ever seen.
Listen, man. You ever have sex while camping?
No, just jerk off at the other campers. I don't ever engage.
So the punchline to that is fucking intense.
Yeah,
I know, I get it, but
that's why
I'm sitting here. He's sitting there,
and he's there. Yes.
Fucking fit. Hey, first of all, it's Live with Johnny, not Live with Kirk.
Sorry.
I can't wait for Live with Kirk.
It's going to be epic, bro.
He goes to bed at 4:00 in the afternoon when we don't do this show. Every other day of the week, he goes to bed at fucking.
It's live, but it's on at 6 a.m. So you got to get up.
So
he sends one email, not 45 messages, so it's fine. Anyway, I'm kidding. You guys are great.
So anyway, that's been the show, and that's fucking.
You guys are great. Good night, Oakesville.
Yep. Next week when turn into Kirk's not fucking here.
Kirk and Pat's show is going to be huge.
Yeah. We're going places, man. Yeah. We got stuff.
Yeah, next week the Live with Johnny show sponsored by your guys' show. Thanks for fucking coming in. You're out of your fucking minds. Yeah. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Tell me other things about me that you searched about me.
Yeah. Give us a rundown.
Tell us what happened in Mississippi in 1994.
Well, they called it a burning, but I don't really call it that. You know what I mean? I call it a celebration of one type of person. Anyway.
Tell us you wear a hood without telling us you wear a hood. That's fucking, this guy.
I call it a Klan hat. Whatever.
Tomato.
I call it Pappy's hat.
Tomato, David Duke, whatever.
Same thing. It's fine. It's fine.
Christ. That didn't
Listen, if I'm going to be a wizard, I'm going to be the grandest. You know what I mean?
I'm going to be the best fucking wizard they have. What do they call that? The Grand. That's me.
That's me. I'm that guy.
That's why he's Grandolph. You didn't know you're getting Hobbit humor?
Oh, boy.
Jesus Christmas.
Oh, boy.
You also posted a few weeks ago that you're looking for some places to do some comedy. Pat Oates is looking to spread his wings and find a place. Have you found
in a certain area.
In a certain area.
Just in the Chester Wallingford area. I graduated Chester High School. I actually performed at my 30th high school reunion, but it wasn't really mine because I stayed back. But they hired me to perform to the people I should have been with. And a lot of those people were like, hey, we'd love to come out to things. There's a lot of restaurants and bars in those areas too. And I like to do some local things. It just keeps more money in the pocket. You know what I mean? If you're not traveling. So I'm doing a couple of things in Derby, but I was looking for something in those two spots, but something around that area. I don't want to put on too many more shows because it's kind of a pain to produce them too. But I do like having my own little shows that are close by to home. So yeah, I was looking for one more spot around there. But a couple people did reach out.
How many nights a week are you doing comedy?
I'm trying to do it every night if I can, but I do take some nights off too. But it's my job, so the more I perform, the more money I make. You
when you're home, are you constantly writing and or recording? I mean, are you? No.
Nope.
No, that's dumb.
He's like, nah,
it's stupid.
No,
he's like, what all
I
that?
know people say that, but if you're constantly writing, it's just then you stink. I let life happen, and I write, and things in life happen, and I get ideas, but a lot of it just comes from taking a walk, thinking about shit. Living life gets me material. So if I'm just sitting there trying to force myself to write, it's not going to work. And I was never a writer in school. I'm better off with a dumb thing happens, and then I go on stage, I verbally work it out, I audio record it, and then I start writing off that. And then keep editing that to turn it into stuff. But most of my stories on stage, and besides crowd work, I do a lot of stories and things in my life. It's just stuff that happened to me that I obviously, fabricate and move things around and change to make me less black. And I just do that so I can be funnier.
Well, I think you're doing a fucking great job. And I got to tell you, you got to get to the Google, buddy. The pictures they got on you at Google, they do. You're much more handsome than you are in them Google fucking images. What the fuck?
I'm not worried about dudes Googling me, bro.
First of all, whatever pays the bills.
He looks all right, dude.
Fuck it. I don't know what your parents taught you, but my grandparents always said a ride home is a ride home, Pat.
Well, put it this way, fella. You Googled me, then you called.
Bro, he looks just like Ragnar Lothbrok. You have to watch Vikings. So
he just made me question myself. He said, you Googled me, saw my picture, and then called me.
Yeah, that's exactly what you did. You saw my picture, you heard my voice, you're like, I need to know this man. That's what you did.
No, he looks all right, dude. I don't know what you're talking about.
Therapy is going to be super interesting this week because I got a lot to talk about.
He looks great.
Pat, I got a series.
I'm a huge fan of therapy. I go every week, so it's the best.
Yeah, massage therapy. Getting this fucking.
I don't like the Asians.
You mean as far as massages or drivers? What are we talking?
The rugs. I'm sorry. Did I not clarify the rugs?
The rugs.
My bad.
I'm telling you right now. I'm calling this dude once a month. I have a series.
And I will sadly answer.
Well, just like my mom. I have a series of questions I like to ask every guest that comes on here. So I'd like to ask a series of questions of you. They're very random. Could be silly, could be stupid, but I seem like I want to have your opinion on all of them. The first one is this. Are you a person who believes in aliens / Bigfoot?
I believe in beliefs. So if that gets someone through the day to think that there's little guys up in the sky or something in a tree or whatever, go for it. I don't think there's a Bigfoot because he'd have to fucking make other feet. You know what I mean? Like he'd just be one dude forever. That's a little weird. But I can't believe that we're the only thing that's here. But I just don't know what it is.
Okay, that's a pretty good
fair
answer.
Yeah, I like that. I can vibe with that.
And I'm not asking
unless you meant Mexicans. I don't believe in those aliens. Those aren't real. Those are just Eskimos. I don't believe in those either.
I was watching Fox News tonight, and I saw a ton of them, so I do believe that they're there. Because Fox News wouldn't lie to me.
What, they showed the bathroom? Like, why would they show all the custodians? Anyway.
Oh, shit. If they're here, who's washing the car?
Who's stealing the car? Anyway.
Somewhere there's a landscaper missing an employee.
I was going to use the rim shot.
Whoa, landscapers and racists are the two biggest listeners of PLR, so I got to be nice to them.
Oh, my bad.
Too many rim shots.
This is brought to you by K&J Tree Service.
Water doctor. Anyway.
Yeah, and then I got to go, water doctor! That's some free fucking sponsorship right there. Pat, take family out of it, take loved ones out of it, take friends out of it, take all that emotional stuff out of it. There's a table, there's 4 chairs. You're sitting at one of them. You get to put 3 people, anybody, except for loved ones and stuff like that. We're going to make it easy for you to take them out of it. 3 chairs, 1 big dinner, you, and who are the other 3 people you want to have there?
Alive or dead, it doesn't matter.
Alive or dead. But I just don't want I don't want to hear grandma. I don't want to hear the friend you lost in 8th grade. Leukemia is his problem, not ours. I want to hear about the 3 people not associated with you. You get 3 people. Who are they?
Anthony Bourdain, definitely.
Oh,
I loved his books. I love the guy's life. I love what he did.
It.
I'd also like to know, I've also dealt with toxic women. I'd like to know what ruined that man to make sure it doesn't happen to us, other people like us. Because a guy that was that brilliant, some lady who just started doing karate on him and shit, made him kill himself. Fuck that.
There's nothing you can do. It's kryptonite, but go ahead.
Right, it is. It's tough. But also, who else would I like? You know what? JFK. I'd like to know what was going through his head.
Oh, I like that.
Heyo.
Again, he got me again, dude. It took me a second.
And then Bill Cosby.
He's not in
I want to
charge.
see who stays alive at the dinner table. I want to see. We all watch the class.
All of a sudden, JFK's like, not again.
Right.
That's fucking funny. You fucking funny. And not because we're now quick. That timer on the bottom is the one I'm looking at. I just want to be sure that I'm. You know what I'm saying? Perfect. Not because you work at the radio station, but because I like to ask these 2 questions. And I have a horse in the fight, but I won't tell you what horse it is. If you had to choose, Guns N' Roses or Bon Jovi?
That's tough. Because as a rock band, I love Guns N' Roses. I love Axl. I love them. I grew up with that stuff.
Oh,
I also have a guilty pleasure for Cheese, dude. Cheese is so fucking great. They're the cheese. One of the corniest song of all times is "Lay You Down in a Bed of Roses." The vodka glass in his hand, to wake up and French kiss the morning. The bullshit that he writes with the Hallmark shit is so great that you would miss it if it wasn't here. I would miss Welcome to the Jungle. I would miss Mr. Brownstone. but without Bon Jovi in the silly, those are the themes to people's lives. So like, I guess I would go Bon Jovi.
I might too. He's making a good point, dude. I mean,
fuck John Bon Jovi.
You're biased.
You hear the word "wanted" and you go, "Want it." You can't not do it. You gotta do the same more.
I once said that "Wanted Dead or Alive," and then the song he did for Young Guns, because Young Guns was such a good movie that song was.
That was a good track too.
For that song.
Yep.
But I'm a Guns guy all day, every day, and dude, I hate Bon Jovi, and I'm gonna, and when you're in a bar though, and he's just, and I can't believe I'm gonna agree with him on this. If "Living on a Prayer" comes on and there's like a bunch of like drunk people between the age of like 33 and 50, the whole fucking place
it's like
starts
Mr. Brightside. I mean, it's people just
Mr. Brightside, really?
Yeah, dude. You play that.
Stop bringing up your trash.
Come on, you know what I'm talking about. You're a white guy.
The Killers are pretty fucking good, dude.
Yeah, the Killers
anyway,
are.
Like,
awesome.
it's the same thing though. You don't want to admit it. I'll be the first to say this. Nickelback's a good band. I don't know what the fuck the problem is.
They're a good band.
Whatever happened to they're not great, but they're good enough to be a pop band, and they get shit on more than anybody. More than German Ochre.
I've made Nickelback jokes too. I've dumb shit, but I was just listening. Somebody had something up their new. Have you heard their new stuff? It's heavy as hell, man.
Yeah,
and it's not horrible at all. Not horrible at all.
No, dude. I can handle it.
It's really good. All right. This one is not as important, but it's going to gauge where you're at.
That was important.
I think Axl Rose is one of the top 5 most important Americans to ever live.
He's one of the top 5 frontmen for sure of all times.
All right, real quick before I ask my question, I fucking love Pat Oates. I'm getting I fucking love Pat Oates.
You want to make out with him right now, don't you?
I will tongue you.
I got a little bit of a man crush on Pat Oates right now. I've always said this to Kirk because Kirk's one of them bougie white guy music guys, and he's like, 30 Seconds to Mars and Arctic Monkeys and all these fucking nonsensical nonsense things.
Not bad bands either.
Thank you.
Okay.
He didn't say they were good. He just said they're not bad.
That's fine. I'll take that.
30 Seconds to Mars is not bad. Arctic Monkeys is good.
I say this to Kirk Michael all the time because I'm a Guns N' Roses fan. Top 4 bands to me all time, rock bands all time. In order, Guns N' Roses is number 4. Rolling Stones is number 3. Queen is number 2. Led Zeppelin number 1. How do you feel about that list?
I can't put Queen there because that song "Bicycle" is too gay. That's even gayer than Freddie Mercury. That song "Bicycle" is one of the worst fucking songs.
And he set the bar high. Freddie set that bar high.
"Bicycle" and the "We Will Rock You" shit. I know we all like it, but it's a corny ass. It's the dumbest written song of all times.
Yep.
We're just cheering. What are we doing?
If I gave Pat Oates another 30 minutes...
Just reacting.
No, listen, if I gave Pat Oates... he might be the most convincing... I might end up fucking loving Bon Jovi.
You might, dude.
If I gave him
I think he could get you there.
Your arguments are so convincing and so well thought out that I want to kiss you in the mouth, but we'll do that later. Stones or Beatles?
Stones.
Thank you.
And he didn't hesitate.
Beatles are, great songwriters, a smart, well put together band, but the Stones are a rock band.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to see the Beatles live right now. If they were all live, you wouldn't want to see it. And their Twitter would have been fucking retarded. Imagine John Lennon alive now tweeting, fuck off. Like, that would have sucked. But like, definitely, I want to see Stones. No one can afford it, but when they're out at 80, I want to see them rock.
For real. I just watched the guy who did The Godfather.
Singing the words "Puerto Rican girl dying to meet you." What does that even fucking mean? Yeah, of course they're dying to meet you.
I am going to go out on a limb and say Pat's got a thing for Latino women.
I'm not. No.
If you're married or have a girlfriend, I'm not trying to piss anybody off. What's your status in life, Pat?
She's my maid. Oh, no, I'm dating. I have a girlfriend.
Very nice.
Nice.
I'm divorced. I have 2 kids. I've been divorced for over 10 years. So.
And you've been divorced for over 10 years. You've been doing comedy for like 16 years.
Yep.
And you really, I really want to push people towards going to watch your YouTube channel. Even if you go to his Facebook and put in the watch the clips that he's puts up there. It's he's talking about he would own. There's like I forget how it happened, and forgive me for it, but he's talking to somebody in the crowd. And he's like, I would fucking own you in prison. He's telling the fucking guy.
Yeah.
But the look on his face, like Pat, he's up on stage, right? So clearly he's above everybody, but he's like leaning with the microphone and like looking the dude right in the eye. And he's like, I would own you in prison. And I just wish
the guy. I felt bad for the guy. He was at the whole show. He's this big jack dude, bald head tattoos, but he seemed like the nice guy who was laughing. So every comic was like, I won't fuck with you. Then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna fuck with this guy. I'm like, dude, I would own you. Like, you understand what I would? You'd be holding my pocket in 2 fucking seconds. Like,
that's exactly what he said.
You have no idea what I would do to you. I would trade you for cigarettes back and forth all day.
Take his commissary.
But when he said
mine now.
But when he said it, like it was like he was in character. It was pretty fucking funny.
And by the way, that was a benefit for that guy's dead friend. So I'm a loving guy. Anyway.
He's available for comedy shows, funerals, whatever the fuck. The old night court joke. I put a bumper sticker on his coffin that says, "I'd rather be breathing." Upcoming shows.
My favorite bumper sticker. So if you have 2 seconds,
sure.
There's a great comic named Shane Moss, and he has this joke he did years ago. And he goes, "I have a great idea for a bumper sticker. It says, I am a child molester." And then he pauses and goes, "Oh wait, you don't put it on your car." Whenever I see a bumper sticker, I think of that. He's one of the most brilliant cops. Look up Shane Moss. He's amazing. Oh
my God. I'm writing it down right now.
Yeah, that's a solid joke. That's a 10-10 joke.
Listen. I can't joke about fucking.
I was like, please sell that merch. He's like, no way, dude.
Pat Oates can be found January 12th at Birchwoods. That's in Woodbridge. January 19th, he's at the Riverwalk Social. Tell me about it. I haven't heard about this. What's the Riverwalk Social?
It's just a restaurant in Derby. I live in Ansonia, so I try to keep 2 closed shows. I do a showcase show once a month at Riverwalk where I find the younger comics I know are coming up. I give them opportunities to get in front of audiences, not be an open mic. So I host it. It's a newer comic showcase. It's only $10. They're funny, but they're not there yet. But then I host it and I shit on everybody. It's a good time. And then the other one I have February 2nd at Twisted Vine, right across the street. I'm turning Elizabeth Street in Derby into some kind of comedy mecca for some reason. So it needs it though, because Derby, 2 things they need are laughs and teeth. And we're never going to get them teeth.
And paternity tests.
The teeth ain't going to happen either.
Everybody in Derby is fucking cousins. Everybody in Derby's cousins. I say it all the time.
Every woman looks like the same TV star, Danny DeVito. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's like... But the one at Twisted Vine, I get 2 comics with me that are guys who are headlining comedy clubs all over New England. So I'm bringing in like a real show there for $20 and then a showcase at the other one. And like the young guys who are getting good, I move them over to the other one just to help them grow a little bit, you know.
And on the 27th,
and to take money, take people's money.
No, you're not in it for. Important. I mean, listen, the fucking Bill's got the lights got to stay on.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm always taking people's money.
I don't like to usually shit on people, and I don't usually like to say things. So when I say this next thing, I'm not shitting on this guy, but like this thing with Matt Rife, where he got big on TikTok and he got all these things, and he was very good with his crowd work. But then when he had to go like do the special, and then I say to myself, and I watch your clips and I watch other people. Like I'm a big Jim Norton guy, and I wonder, how does Jim Norton and all these other guys, even Pat Oates, how do we not see through Matt Rife, but these other guys are kind of struggling. And I'm not trying to. He's just not my type of comic.
But you know the funny thing is, he might be. The problem is the way that he's been presented to the world. First of all, Jim Norton is amazing. When I was getting Anthony Cumia, he has a network called the Anthony Cumia. He has an Anthony Cumia show on his network. One of the best moments of my life is I got to one time be second chair. It was Anthony, me, and Norton. And you want to talk about 2 of the quickest people in the world, and I had to keep up. At one point, he turns to me, Norton quietly just goes, "Dude, you're killing it." I go, "Keep up, motherfucker." And we both laugh because he's obviously the best in the world at that. So it was amazing to be able to joke with him. He's Matt Rife's story is actually not the one we get to see. I've met Matt once, but when he first started, Matt was a 16-year-old kid doing stand-up. Wasn't a TikTok guy, wasn't that pretty guy. Reached out to Ralphie May, who I got to open for too. He died because he was too fat to live. And so when he reached out to him, he said, "Hey, you're going to be going to a comedy club." Rife reached out at 16 years old and said, "I'd like to do a guest spot. I'm living in the area." He goes, "Of course, come on down." And then he goes, "It's in a couple months from now. We'll let you know." The kid's mom started texting Ralphie all the time. saying like, wins the show, Ralphie wins the, what time? Does he get food? He thinks he's the club owner or whatever. Ralphie messaged him and goes, listen, kid, maybe let's wait another year. I can't deal with your fucking mom. We're not doing it. Wife was like, fuck this, mom. You ruined my life. 16 years old, slams the door. A year later, reaches out again. He's coming to a theater. Says, I'm mature now. My mom won't text you, whatever. Performs. He liked it. He asked Ralphie for advice. Ralphie said, go out to California when you're ready. And he said he was ready. He goes, no, you're not ready. He moved out anyway. He wasn't getting any gigs. He wasn't making any money. Ralphie took care of him, bought him food, all this shit, whatever, and told him to start doing comedy. He was out traveling. He was headlining clubs as an unknown guy. His friends told him to go on TikTok and start putting videos up. He wasn't going to. He put a couple up. He did a show in front of 8 people and had to travel somewhere else. Could barely have enough money to go there. Said, fuck it. I'll share the dumb video. Then I'm probably going to quit comedy. Jeez. It got 4 million views. And then everyone went to the next one. So he became a TikTok comic. But even though he was a comic with a lot of material, he was this dirty comic who was kind of misogynistic. All women liked him. So all the people around him now who wanted his money were like, hey, man, lean into that. Take your shirt off. Do this now, whatever. So he's trying to become 2 people. I'm not defending the guy, but yeah, his comedy isn't for us because he doesn't know what his comedy's for. He wants to be this dirty guy. So then he tried to be too edgy. And did I like the idea that he sent a link and said, if you don't like me, go to this link. Yeah. And it was special needs helmets? That's fucking funny.
Fucking hysterical.
Yeah. So, but that was a real site, which means that guy's web guy was like, why are we getting so many hits today? How many helmets do people need? Like, you know, the traffic they got that day? It's like Epstein's Island.
Fantastic. Well, the whole town of Derby probably bought one, but I mean, you know.
They already get them. They get it in the mail with their cheese.
I don't want to cut you off, but our thing is saying we have a minute left, and I like to keep the show down to a tight 40. Oh. Pat, say whatever you want for the last minute, but before you do, I cannot thank you enough, and I hope that our paths cross again. And you are 10 times funnier now to me than you were a half an hour ago, and I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you more.
Well, now I can rest in peace. I'll put that on my obituary. Thank God you like me. That's a big deal. No, but seriously, anytime you guys want me on, you guys are a blast. It's a lot of fun. Just hit me up. I'd love to chat with you guys again. It was a lot of fun. And fuck Queen. You know what I mean?
Well, I would, but there's that whole thing I might, I don't want to get mercury poisoning.
You can't get dead AIDS.
Listen, I don't want to be the first one to fucking find out. They also said
I would come on your show. Dead AIDS.
You had to make...
It cut him off?
Yes, I told you not to make any more jokes, dude.
I thought
You're
we had
totally
time.
Ignoring me.
Can the people... am I still on?
Yes, I told you stop talking. Say goodbye. You don't fucking listen.
I don't listen. He's the best.
He's fucking great, though.
He's the fucking best. And he's probably home right now laughing at us going...
Pay the $13 a month.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yo, I'm going to get a Venmo from Pat Oates that says, yo, here's for next year.
Jesus Christ.
Yo, I'm going to tell you right now, that's a funny guy. He's a quick-witted guy.
He's a great guy, man.
And I tried not to step on him because, me, sometimes I want to answer too quick myself. But that's a funny fucking guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
I can't thank him enough, Pat. We're sorry that the Zoom cut off. But I got to tell you, how much funnier does it need to be that? It ended with him going, I'll come on if you get dead AIDS. There's no better fucking way to end a fucking interview.
And then gone.
Matter of fact,
got canceled.
Once I download this and I clip my clip is going to be Pat Oates saying, you got to get dead AIDS. That's fucking funny.
Oh, that was fucking
Let me tell you something. This episode is very clippable for the Tick and the Talk. I'm telling you that right now.
Kids are going to go crazy. You're going to be the next Matt Rife, I think.
I can't take my shirt off. Ain't nobody going to... One thing Matt Rife got going for him is if he whips his shirt off in public, somebody might stare. I do it. They try to fucking take me to the ocean to fill up my blowhole. That was pretty good,
That
man.
was fucking... That dude is
And the thing about doing it the way we do, like... goes by so fast, but I'm glad it cut off that way because with him saying he'd love to come back on, we got to have him back on. There's so much more to hit with Pat Oates. I mean,
lesson learned. When I tell you to cut, that means cut. Don't make one more joke. Say goodbye. It was funny though. It was funny.
Brain and my mouth sometimes don't always.
I was like, oh God, he's going to say something else. He can't stop himself.
We did great. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in tonight. Pat Oates. Funny. You are a good man. You know what? Matter of fact, before we get rid of it, let me give you those dates one more time for Pat Oates.
Yeah, do it.
You're going to find him January 12th at Birchwoods. That's in Woodbridge. January 19th at the Riverwalk Social in Derby. January 27th at the Fairfield Comedy Circle. And that's in Fairfield, just in case anybody don't know. And February 2nd at Twisted Vine in Derby. And all those Derby jokes, we'll see how they land that night. But go see Pat Oates. Go listen to Pat Oates. Go to his POS podcast. Listen to him at Chaz and AJ. And go to his YouTube page. Go to Pat Oates' YouTube page. You know what to do? Go to YouTube, put in Pat Oates. Thank you to everybody for tuning in tonight. This was, I enjoyed myself. I thought it was great. Listen to me complimenting myself. What I meant to say is I thought he was a great guest, and I really enjoyed having him on. So that was awesome. Don't forget, people, the most important 3 words in English language are how are you? Text somebody, call somebody, just say how are you? You never know. You could save their day, you could save their night, you might save their week, you never know, you might save their goddamn life. Things are crazy out there these days, but it's important to check up on those we haven't talked to in a while. Even if you think they're doing all right, you don't know, just ask them, how are you? We will see you next week. We'll be back here. We've got some more guests coming up. We'll have some more information for you about next week. Bright eyes, I'm coming home. I love you. I will see you next week.